tasked with the wonderful duty of opening us in prayer this afternoon. I never know when 12 o'clock. But yes, but before we do that, we have one special announcement. Today is Adrian's birthday. And without her permission, we're going to sing happy birthday to her. So, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Adrian. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Lucas.
Adrian, had we been on tune, you would have been fine.
That was not.
I was about to say, I mean, we did it on purpose. You can't play the ukulele for your own birthday.
Right? You're like, no, put that away.
But let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for having Adrian be born, and for all of the good and joy of these upcoming seasons. As we are having fun in the kitchen today, may this food that we are going to partake in later, may you bless it for the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to your service, that we might be able to remember what we are thankful for, and that we will feel able to offer love to all people in this season. We thank you for all that you do. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you, Lucas. You come back for samples at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
All right, y'all. We're so glad to have y'all back here today for another culinary workshops in person. This is our second in-person one. You know, this came out of the pandemic. So it used to be called Pandemic Pantry. And even though we're kind of still lingering in the pandemic, we have started calling it culinary workshops. So,
Yeah.
should we sing?
So without further ado, we always
have
open with a little
We
song.
have a brand new song.
Maybe not a dance routine today, but we'll do the song.
And you'll see why it's appropriate for this time of the year, because it's a good time to be merry. It's a good time for culinary. It's a good time, and don't you know, it's time to start the show.
Thank you, Adrian.
Yes,
And we usually start with a devotion too. We found this fabulous little devotions book, Devotions from the Kitchen Table. So today it's called The Last Piece of Pie, which seems very appropriate as we are baking pies for you today.
Several pies.
So Adrian's going to just read to you for a hot second.
Commission Joshua and encourage and strengthen him, for he will lead this people across and will cause them to inherit the land that you will see. Deuteronomy 3:28. It's hard not to be bitter when someone else takes the last piece of pie. You hide it in the back of the refrigerator while you go about the nightly tasks of washing the dishes, bathing the children, and getting everyone ready for bed. You practically skip into the kitchen thinking of the slice of deliciousness that awaits you. You round the corner and gasp as you see your spouse finishing the last bite of the dessert you have been thinking about all evening. I've been there.
Yes, it's a true story.
Maybe something other than a piece of pie tempts you toward bitterness. Perhaps another person was offered the job that you had your heart set on. Someone else received the proposal that you've been dreaming of for the longest time. How do you feel when you see someone receive something that has been the desire of your heart? Satan would love for you to give in to bitterness and envy. Moses had spent a lot of time preparing God's people for their entrance into the promised land. He had endured a lot of griping and spent quite a bit of time intervening on their behalf. In the end, Moses disobeyed God, and the consequence was a big one. God forbade him from entering the promised land. More than that, God told Moses to encourage Joshua to do the very thing that Moses himself desired to do. Deuteronomy 3:28 holds the key to battling bitterness. Encouragement conquers envy. We can begin to see situations differently when we take the focus off of ourselves and look for ways to strengthen the other person. Let's learn to say, "Yay, you," instead of "poor me." We can be happy for someone even if they get what they have been waiting on, even when it comes, heaven forbid, to the last piece of pie. Teach me, this is the prayer, teach me to encourage someone when I'm tempted to envy them, Lord. Let no root of bitterness grow in my heart. Help me point others to you.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully today I can teach you to make some pies that will be worthy of hiding.
Yes.
And
What are we learning about?
So today we're going to learn the one that you can smell as you come through the door is Pear and Gruyere, like the cheese pie. So it's got a cheese pastry, poached pears in the middle. Then we're going to have a little fun with beets, as you call them, beetroots.
And what do you call them?
I just say beetroot, the whole
Beetroot,
thing.
okay,
But when
yeah.
I Google it, it just comes up as beets. I don't know
Yeah,
why
yeah.
you don't finish the word, but so we're going to use that and red onions, a little orange star anise to make a tart tatin, so basically an upside down tart. And then we just kind of bouged up the pumpkin pie idea. So we're doing a chocolate crust, a chocolate pumpkin pie, and then it's going to have a ganache topping on it. So they all sound tricky, but they're really not. We'll just break them down and make them easy for you to have a go at.
And you have recipes in there. You can. These are your folders. You get to
Yes.
write on them, and then people at home, we will share these on the Culinary Workshops page later.
Yes, and I will try and stick to the recipe because I'm slightly notorious for not doing that. So we're going to start with our beets. So these are so pretty. These are the tops that I cut off for the ones that I've prepped earlier and had them sitting in water so they come back to life. And we're actually going to use these to garnish with.
Can you
So
eat those?
You can eat those. So not only are they a pretty garnish, but you could shred them and make like a Dijon mustard vinaigrette or something would be really good with those. So let's move that over maybe.
All right.
Do you want to do one or I'll do one?
Sure.
Um,
Try to do it. Try to be like Kate. That's pretty hard.
I bought you your favorite friend.
Oh, good.
We have a tussle over the knife or the peeler. Adrian likes the peeler.
Well, yeah, I do.
and we accommodate all needs. So just topping our tops off. Topping our tops off.
Can I?
Beetroot stains. There's just kind of no way around it.
Yep.
We have
It's good though. I like beets.
beets remind me of my childhood. Like my grandmother used to have pickled beetroots, and they even used to make pickled beetroot sandwiches. I don't have fond
Never had
memories
anything
of
like
beets.
that.
I don't have fond memories of beets. They used to seem like an older,
Mom,
old-fashioned food.
I don't remember eating a lot of beets. I think my parents are watching. Hey, parents. I don't remember eating a lot of beets. Yes, Kate's sister, Jane, we're thinking about you. We love you.
We hope you're there. My sister fell and she had to have an emergency shoulder replacement at the weekend. So she's in England and just learning what life looks like with the use of one arm just for a few weeks. So anyway, all we're doing in this different ways to the same end is taking the edges off of our beets.
This is not going to look
Keeping
pretty.
your hands from turning red.
No,
You're not.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I meant to Google like a secret trick, like rub them with vinegar or something, but
Gloves.
gloves
Yeah.
perhaps.
But it's hard to hold a grip with gloves. It's hard to hold a grip anyway. It's pretty slippery.
Okay,
Yes.
are you going to do in your pantry with it required to exchange centigrade into Fahrenheit?
Yes, I did it. It's 392. It is the exact number, but I would just go for 4. I would go for 400. I was one step ahead of you, Jean. Yes. So,
Or does it say the English measurements on the recipes?
it's got 200. No, we got most of it.
Oh, okay.
400 grams of beef.
Beetroot. Okay.
400 grams of beetroot, 3 beetroot. It's 500 grams is a pound. So, oh, look at you.
Oh, I was
Okay.
not trying to show you how great I am. Is this okay?
Yes, that's
Okay.
beautiful.
How much is it?
About 3.
About 3 beetroots. It depends.
I'll close it.
It's one of those recipes where it doesn't, especially. How do I explain that? I've got way too much. We're using this tiny little pan, so really you need enough beetroots and onions to fill whatever size skillet that you're going to use. I've got the one that we're going to bake today is in the middle size, but they came in a set of 3, so you could make a huge one. All of them will work. But 400 grams is just under a pound.
Okay.
So, trying to get in my rhythm going. Okay, so we're slicing our beetroots just like you would slice an apple. You want everything to be roughly the same sort of size. But you don't want them to be tiny little pieces because you want them to kind of stay together when you flip it. So thinner and wider is better than little strips or anything.
Is this okay?
Those are great.
Okay.
Those are great. I would maybe just do them in half one more
Okay.
time. And then hiding in there are some onions. We can take a look at those.
Love a good onion. Oh.
This is such a colorful addition. You know, it makes a good luncheon on its own, this tart, or you can just add it as a side dish to your meals.
And it's tasty.
It's very tasty.
Okay, there's those. Just one onion? Or both?
I think we're just only going to need one.
Okay.
We're going to have more than we
Do you want me
need.
to slice this up or are you going to do it?
You do the other. You do one and I'll do one. Onions. I'm sure you've all got your way of doing an onion. So I just cut and tail mine. And a red onion obviously is going to be much prettier.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone made a tart tatin before, like an apple one? Apple's the most traditional.
And when you say tart tatin, we would just say apple tart, right?
Well, that's the tart bit. The tatin bit alludes to the puff pastry on the top and the flipping
okay.
of the pie.
Okay.
hmm It's the code for what you're doing.
Oh,
All right.
All right.
How is the TV working? Can you see us chopping?
Oh, good.
That's fun.
Oh, not good for me.
That's fabulous. You
Okay.
know, one tip that if you cry a lot when you do your onions, if you, like Adrian just did, if you cut through the root as you're prepping them, it makes you cry more.
There's another tip I
Another
saw
tip, or
on
vice
TikTok.
versa?
I'm like embarrassed to share this, but you get a wet paper towel and if you put it on the chopping board, then it draws the reason you cry is because the acids come up to your tear ducts. They're attracted to moisture, so it makes the moisture go toward the paper towel instead.
That's a
And
good
it
one.
works. I
It
know,
does.
isn't that
You know,
strange?
the other one that works is you put a metal spoon between your teeth and you hold that there while you're chopping. A spoon.
Have you ever done the match?
No.
Like they say you can light a match and you blow it out and then you put it in your teeth while you're cutting. But I can't imagine being like, let me get a match before I cut this onion.
Yes, but that's perhaps when you're cutting, you know, lots of onions.
Now, do you want me to go ahead and cut this one up?
I'd like half of that. Yes,
Okay.
yes, just do it because we're actually going to have too much anyway.
Okay.
Another thing you can do on the onions, put it in the freezer about 20 minutes.
Oh, does that help too?
I don't have any columns.
Ah, that's a good one. All right, so we want these to caramelize a little bit.
And I'm putting this over here.
So we have, let me check what I do have. I have 2 tablespoons of soft brown sugar that we're going to add into there. And we have rice wine vinegar. And do a couple of tablespoons of that. And then a couple, 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
And our 3rd teaspoon is going to go into our skillet.
Little skillet.
So we are going to put that over. Well, yes, we'll put that on here to warm. So do you want to be the mixer of
Sure.
it? So really, you're just going to coat all of those.
Okay.
Obviously, you could do this bit ahead of time. You'll see, we've had to do all these recipes ahead of time. They all sounded great when I chose them. And then they were all a bit more complicated. but not really, not now that I've broken it down. And then the secret ingredients that we're adding is star anise. It's one of my new favorite spices. We used it at Easter time in one of the Easter breads. It
trying
does put 2 whole ones in, but
And I
they
have
didn't
to break up all
whole.
these onions.
No,
right?
no, you don't. No,
Oh, okay.
no.
Then I won't worry about it.
No, ma'am. You want them
No,
crusty
ma'am.
because otherwise it will fall apart.
Well, this is Anthony over here running the camera, which we really appreciate.
Yeah.
Anthony, this is everybody.
So really, you just imagine this is sizzling. So your skillet is sizzling hot, and then we are just going to fill that with as many as we can fit. Obviously, this is the whole recipe, and this is a smaller skillet.
It's cute.
it fits in the size that it recommends you use. But you want to pack it in because it does cook down a bit. And then you put it on the stove and you bring it up until it's all sizzling and bubbling and, cooking is well underway, and then slide it in your oven. And you want it to stay in the oven then for, I think it says 35 to 40 minutes until it's all hot and delicious, and then you carefully bring it back out. So we're going to do like a switcheroo to the one that we prepared earlier. And actually you cover it in foil as well.
Oh.
So we'll just do the whole line yards. So, pleat it, lay it around, and then it will go in the oven.
Like that. Okay.
Then,
Oh, it really is sizzling.
sizzling. So it's going to come out. I guess you'll be able to see it in there. So they've all cooked down and kind of sizzling. So say mounding it up is good because you can see that that's cooked down quite a lot. So then we've got our puff pastry.
All
We just
right.
need a single sheet.
Okay. Let me just take my hands off. They're
That's
stained
right.
with beets.
We were talking about puff pastry. Puff pastry falls under that vegan headline if anybody's interested in the keeping, following that.
Puff pastries in the what?
Vegan.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No butter?
No. Which is very funny, isn't it? Because when you make puff pastry, it's all butter. So
Right?
it makes you wonder what's in the shop puff pastry.
Yes, it does. Okay.
But having had a daughter-in-law that flip-flops between being vegan and not, I found a few things in my arsenal that were easy to pull out of my hat. It's best not to be overwhelmed. These things pass. All right, so there's our puff pastry, and we just want a circle, the best kind of circle that we can do. That's going to fit in our pan. That. And then you can help me push it. Let's just see. That's hotter than it needs to be. I'm just going to measure it by putting my pan over it. I think that's about right. So you don't want it to be you want it to be generous as the puff pastry lets you be, because you want to tuck it down the sides. So you think about you're building a pie shell upside down, so that when it flips out, all of those juices will be contained inside. So just wish us luck.
That's all you. I watched her do this last time, though. When she turned it out, it really was like the perfect shape. So
Yes, and no pressure. All right, so you don't want to pierce it, you don't want to glaze it, that is it. We are going to set a timer for, what does it tell me, 35 minutes, I think, or 45 minutes, but I don't think it's, no, it's not that
Set
long.
a timer for 40 minutes.
No, that's the next bit down, actually, tell you wrong.
Okay. How long?
30, let's do 30.
Hey Siri, set a timer for 30 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
30 minutes of counting.
So that should just be doing its magical thing. And we are just going to wipe this down. And then if you want to find the next one we're going to do is the chocolate pumpkin tart.
All right. Okay, so in a large bowl, we're going to combine.
Right, but the first thing we're going to do on that is make the ganache.
Okay.
Sometimes recipes are just not in the right order. When you read it through, it takes too long if you do it in the order that they are written. So what you want to go on and do is get your milk up to temperature. We've got half a cup of milk, 3/4 a cup of chocolate, and we're just going to tip it over the top.
Ooh.
It's heavy cream actually, and just let that sit. So that's doing its thing.
Looks good.
And while that does its thing, we're going to make a crust for our pastry to go
All
in.
right. Is this
Now-
garbage?
Yes, that's garbage. Now, if you don't want to make a pastry crust, I think when I was in the stores the other day, you can buy the graham cracker crust. I think you can even buy a pumpkin spice graham cracker crust, can't you? And you can get a chocolate one. So you could just start with that and skip this part of the recipe completely. But we're not.
No.
And we're actually going to do small ones, Adrian. Would you like to pull those up and just spray those little tart shells?
Yes.
So we're going to use our mixer. You don't have to have one of these. You could do this in the Kenwood mixer too. That would work. We have, I think you just tip everything in. We have cocoa. We have flour. It's got quite a lot of sugar, I have to say. But it's the holidays.
Right.
It keeps us all even-tempered and sweet.
What comes after the holidays is January with our new resolutions.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll be glad to. Then we have I'm still using the Malden sea salt because I love it. And we've got a pumpkin pie mix that's going to go in there too. I'm just going to aerate that for a tiny second. And then we have 1 stick of melted butter that's going to go in there.
Not to be poured down the long hole.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's it. You can tell it makes a slightly different noise when it's done. But that's it. That is it. It's quick as that.
All right.
Well, safety. You have to take the lid off. There you go. One slice. Scoop that down a bit. Yes, I don't know how to
Yum.
tip
Ooh, that
that
looks
like
amazing.
that. Look, so it's all crumbly, but as you put that into your pie, it's going to make a solid crust. Okay, so I'm just going to spoon some in. And then Adrian and I.
Hey, Mary Bruce.
Hello.
All right, welcome. Okay.
And I have too much because I've chosen to just do little ones because they'll cook quicker and they'll be fun for you to see. So you just want to make yourself an edge.
Be edgy.
Yes, stay on edge. Yeah, don't beat around the bush. Just get on with it.
Baking puns with Kate Megan.
We can do it all day. And there's no right or wrong answer to it. You know, just put it in if you like a nice thick crust. These are not loose bottomed, but they did come out beautifully. We've done another one. I prepared ahead one to show you, which is a big deep one. I mean, it just seems a very versatile recipe.
The worst part about culinary workshops is having to prepare ahead and taste all these pies. And, you know,
It's a tough
it's
job.
hard.
It is hard. It is hard.
But we do that for you.
It's a sacrifice we're willing to make.
Did you grease the tart pans before you did?
I did.
Yes.
I sprayed them with this Baker's Joy. I
Good.
did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. You.
So it works equally well with the 6 small or 1 large?
No, it would make more than 6 small because look, it only uses about half the mixture.
But it's okay if you do it all in one.
Yes. 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 I've got a big one that I'll show you that we did.
But like same
Um,
heating instructions, same length of time and everything of cooking.
I think no, it's going to cook a little quicker in these pans. I'm still going to give it about 10 minutes for the crust, but the middle will cook faster.
Okay.
Adrian, what's that Baker's Joy with flour?
It is the original no stick baking spray with flour.
Do ask questions if I skip something. Sometimes
Yes.
I just get used to, I just do it that way because you have to ask me why. I don't really think about that. Just because I always
That's true.
have.
You just innately know some things
Yes.
that
I
I
don't realize. You
Yeah.
know, to catch me out. Look at that. Okay.
Okay. How am I doing with my sides?
You are doing amazing. But because we're going to turn them out and they don't have a loose bottom, we want chunky sides.
I know I'm trying.
Yeah. Goes against the grain.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
The messier the better. This is a fun family one. I just started baking with Colette. Colette is, she'll be 3 in February, so she's still tiny, but she likes eggs. So she likes to crack the egg, so as long as I'm using an egg. So we made cupcakes the other day.
Oh.
She does them with iced cookies. We made cookies that by the time we kneaded the dough like Play-Doh, you know, we barely got our teeth in it, but she loved it. She loved it. Okay. All right, let's tuck that out of the way. Okay. So once Adrian's got that one, wow. You see, that's so pretty. So don't worry about the mess on there. We'll get that sorted. We're going to slide those in for about 10 minutes. Can you do a second?
Yes.
Boom. All right, and while that's doing that, we're going to pull together the filling to go in there. And just have a little clear up.
Good. All right.
All right, so somebody else got an alarm going?
Oh.
Okay, so pumpkin pie. Yummy.
All right.
Do you want to do this one?
Sure.
Check about it. Yeah, so really you're just going to pop everything in. So 3/4 of a cup of sugar.
So this is pumpkin, not pumpkin pie.
This is pumpkin, yes.
Yes, yes,
Just
yes.
packed pumpkin. So sugar, 3 eggs.
100% pure pumpkin.
Teamwork.
We used pumpkins last year. Did you guys see the Halloween episode last year? And we had dry ice. Didn't we? Somebody
We did.
gave us dry ice or something.
We made roasted pumpkin soup with
So
melted
good.
Gruyere cheese. It was very good.
It was a cool episode.
Is it just me or is the pumpkin missing from the rest?
It's the very first ingredient on the filling section. You're
Yeah, it's just
welcome.
divided into sections.
We have pumpkin spice. If you don't like pumpkin spice, and not everybody does, you could put ginger, cloves, nutmeg, which is pretty much what it is. But
Can I start?
yes. I guess not having grown up with pumpkin pie, I'm not a huge fan. And
Katie's not a
I
big pumpkin
probably
pie
would just
listener.
put ginger in it. Would you like to zest?
Sure.
We're going to put some orange zest in there.
The whole orange?
Yes, the whole orange. Tiny clean up. Everything in the oven is
that
doing
smells
its
good.
thing.
Yes. Can you guys smell this orange? No?
If you don't have one of these, put this on your Christmas list, a zester.
Otherwise known as a lightsaber.
Yes.
For our May the 4th episode one year.
A lightsaber and a lifesaver.
Yes.
Yes. Some people like to jiggle the thing, and I tend to move the fruit.
It's
So
like
we-
potato.
Yes. It's just one more difference between us. Apart from the obvious one. You like the best. I'm just going to jiggle our cream in our ganache. It's just slowly melting. Mhm. So ganache is basically, you know, cream, melted chocolate. Sometimes it has butter in it. I'm not quite sure my cream was as hot as it needed to be, but we're going to make it work.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to cheat.
Mmm, something good.
I'll leave it there for a minute. We'll cheat if we need to. Okay, then this is just going to get whisked up here.
Okay.
Just a quick one. Talk amongst yourselves.
Does everybody get my emails? Did you all get my email? What's that? Okay, yes, so my most recent playwriting foray has been Christmas at
Okay, we're good.
Christmas at the Canteen. So in June at Wetumpka Depot, we presented the Hometown Canteen, which was kind of a play on the Hometown Takeover show that had just filmed in Wetumpka. So we decided to that I would write a play set in World War II, and it's a model after the Hollywood Canteen. which was started by Betty Davis. So in our world, for the purposes of our world, Betty Davis sent her assistant to start a canteen in every state. And the Alabama branch of the canteen is at the Wetumpka Depot. So that was set in June 1943, and now we are in December 1943. It's almost Christmas, and we hear from Roosevelt. A couple of our performers are missing this time. Actually, one of the actresses is about to have a baby, so her character goes into labor and starts to have the baby, so she can't be in the show. So we have a lot of fun in rehearsals, though. We have a lot of fun tap dancing, and there's songs. It's patriotic.
Dancing Rudolph.
Yes, there's Rudolph, and Santa comes, and it's a fun. In my opinion, Christmas is the best time of the year, and we need as much hope and uplifting, merriment as we can get. So that's what this show should be for everybody. So anyway, that opens December 9th and runs through December 19th at the Wetumpka Depot. If you want tickets, you can go to wetumpkadepot.com. There's no show on December 11th, but there are 2 matinees, and
I have my ticket.
and I would love to see y'all there.
It will be good. She will not disappoint, as you can imagine. It will be good. Okay, you probably saw, I just helped our ganache along a little bit with the microwave, but look, there it is.
Yes,
Just chocolatey and delicious. And you want it to cool before you use it,
gooey.
a good reason we started early. Is it nearly 10 minutes? Let's see. Otherwise,
He
we'll plug
says 3:53 left.
353. Okay. So that's our pumpkin pie mixture. It was just simple, probably like you already make pumpkin pie mixture, and then that's going to go in our tart shells when they come out in 3 minutes.
Yay! And then we
All right.
have 16 and a half minutes on the other timer.
Fantastic. So
Yes.
now we're just going to skip on and get started with our Pear and Gruyere cheese tart. So do you want to hand do your pie?
Yes!
Like feel the whole experience.
Yes.
So this is our pièce de résistance.
Yes. This is something I've been begging Kate to do for
We wanted this from day one.
Yes.
So here it is.
Yes, every time we had a culinary workshop, a pandemic pantry, Kate said, "What do you want to make?" And I said, "Pear Gruyere Pie," and she was like, "No." So finally she said yes. All you have to do is have a birthday, apparently, for pandemic pantry. Twice, yes, several times over. But so I'm excited. I watched the show Pushing Daisies. I don't know if any of you watched that. What a great show, and it should have been ever canceled, but there is a character named Ned, and they call him the Pie Maker. So there's this voiceover narrator who would say, the Pie Maker does this, and the Pie Maker does that. The Pie Maker has these incredible pies, and one of the pies Ned made on the show was the Pear Gruyere Pie. So ever since then, I've been just really wanting to make that pie, not feeling brave enough to do it on my own, and enter Kate Wheaton, of course, our Cordon
Our
Bleu
dream team.
trained chef. So
All right, but we have made pastry before, and
yes, we have.
we have. So you've got this. So I foolishly thought the freezer wasn't as cold as it was, so these are a little more frozen than I
Okay.
anticipated. But anyway, we have 2.5 cups of plain flour.
Okay.
In it goes. We have just a small tablespoon of sugar. You could leave that out. And then we have salt.
That Malden salt.
Northern salt. And
Oh, these are hard.
they are hot, aren't they? Let's give them another
Okay.
blast.
Okay. And while you do that, I will talk about. We're gonna go to Malden salt. Yes, this stuff's so good.
What is it?
It's yes,
Yes,
it's like
come and see it at the end.
it's like
my
fine
favorite salt.
sea salt flakes. So I don't know. It's just
It's Cornish sea salt.
it's
English
Cornish
sea
and
salt.
it's coarse, but it's easy to work with, and we've been using that on the show since
Some people
day
call
one.
it finishing salt, but I use it in everything, and it's flaky and it's very salty salt, so you don't need a lot of it, if that makes sense. And they do a smoked version too, and I bought this one on Amazon, but sometimes you see it in the shops. Now that we don't have World Market, I haven't been to food market.
Whole Foods, Whole Paycheck.
Whole Paycheck. No, not Whole Paycheck. The one where I've been here so long that I can say this. The one where Bruno's used to be. Yes, there. That place. They have.
Sound
it,
like
I
a
think.
local.
Right? I used to that was so hard when I first moved here, and everyone would refer to things by what had been there before. And I was
that's
like,
funny.
"But I don't know."
I don't know who the Joneses are.
Okay. So into here we are just going to dice 2 sticks of butter. Are any of you pastry makers? Yeah.
Yay, Bev.
I love homemade pastry.
Yes.
Oh, I've got the only knife. Here we go. Okay. Adrian's going to get quite the workout.
Oh, yes. Just what I came here for. We're going to go back to the Safari of Lights this year. Oh, that's the
Oh, that's the
the
chocolate
10
tart.
minute 10-minute timer. We're going to go back to the Safari of Lights, I think December 20th. Last year we just met up and caravanned through, but I think we're going to do Christmas cookies and hot chocolate and everything, but hopefully we can take the black bus this year. So
Yes, it's
y'all
fun.
keep your eyes peeled for that. The Safari of Lights is in Hope Hall. It's about
When?
December 20th. And the Safari of Lights is in Hope Hall. It's about 30 minutes from here. It's not far, and it's really cool. And
Oh, it's
apparently,
so
didn't
much
you
fun.
say they have new animals?
They do. Now, when you go to the light tour, you don't get to interact with the animals. In
Yeah,
the
they go
same
to
way.
sleep. They go to
But if
bed.
you haven't been recently, you can feed the giraffes. They have a new giraffe enclosure. There's the parakeets that you can feed. There are lots of small animals. More interaction than the zoo has. But yes, it's very good fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking for one of our spatulas. Hold on
Okay,
a second.
so we'll go to dinner before the safari park, and then we'll go to the safari park. And I mean, even if we fill up the bus, we can still have other cars. But I think that'll be really fun. Lights at
It felt
Christmas
Christmassy.
time, there's just something so magical about that. And I hope people decorate this year. Last year, I feel like a lot of places didn't decorate as much as they had in
We
years
used to
past.
ride around and watch the Christmas lights, see people's Christmas lights, but not so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see our tarts are done. So we're going to put our pumpkin pie mixture. And while I'm doing that, Adrian, do you want to get started? So
Yes.
making pastry, you're just pinching, doing the work the machine would do, but you know what to do. Pinch and drop.
Yep.
Just you do.
Do the
boo.
Lord's work over here.
Yes. It's a rich pastry. It's got quite a lot of butter.
It does have a lot of butter, a lot of hard butter.
At any point, I can wash the machine.
Watching a test kitchen, like,
Uh-huh.
comes on sometime, and they were taking hard butter and grating it.
Yes.
Oh.
You can do that too.
Or a little fashioned pastry pie.
Yeah, good old fashioned pastry.
Yeah, have you ever done a pastry cutter? You ever used anything like that?
Oh, one of those, yes, wires in it, yes.
Oh.
Well, when I learned to cook, we had 2 kitchen knives. These are my favorite kind of knives, and we used to do it like this, like crisscross, crisscross. I don't like to give Adrian any of the tricks. I like her just to do it like
She
manually.
does. She's like, Adrian can struggle through this, okay? That's part of the magic of this show.
Well, when we used to learn to cook, you have to do it like manually sometimes, because then you know what you're looking for, and then you can cheat. But it's like
I have to earn my
teaching me to tap
stripes. Like learning to tap dance.
Like-
Which you'll get to see us do in Christmas at the
Yes.
canteen.
Okay, look, so can you all see that? There's our little tarts. So those are going to go back in the oven.
I don't know how I'm doing here, Kate. I'm trying.
You were doing a grand job, and honestly, I might rescue you in a second. But
Okay.
you're good
I'm-
value for
I'm
money
okay.
right this minute.
I'm okay. I'm trying to look at my notes.
Okay, so we're slipping these back in, I think, for 20 minutes.
Okay, do you need another?
No, because hopefully, oh look, our tart is doing something delicious.
Ooh.
So while Adrian's doing that, I can actually talk about the rest of the filling, so the pear filling. We decided not to show you all of the steps of it, although I do have the pears here. But we have 6 pears, which are all very seasonal right now. And you just want to peel them with a peeler or a knife, quarter them and slice them thinly. And then your recipe will tell you they go in port, but obviously we didn't do that. We used cranberry, and today I actually have some grape juice over there. But if you want to use red wine at home, obviously you can do that. And then you add your spices to it. We had ginger, cloves, nutmeg, cinnamon, and some vanilla, just to make a good flavored yes, poaching liquid. And then you put your pears in and let them poach. And I did all that ahead of time so that this wasn't quite such an overwhelming experience. So that's done, and I've drained off our poaching liquid. But what I will show you how to do is to thicken it, because that's probably the trickiest part. So the poaching liquid has come off of Jeannie's.
Do you really need a 3-inch cinnamon stick in your thing?
She's got one.
Yes, look.
Okay.
But if you don't have one, you can just put cinnamon
It
in there.
smells so Christmassy in your kitchen while you're doing
It
it.
did, and we only had whole cloves, so we had those in there too. But this is the liquid that was on it, and it's going to ask you to reduce it down. So we're just going to bubble it for a little minute, and then we're going to thicken it with corn flour. So, how you doing over there?
I'm doing great.
You are
I'm just
aerating that
squeezing
pastry.
the life out of this butter.
Let me run some warm water, just in case. I know. I think you're going to make it.
I'm gonna make
You're
it.
going to make it. It's like a challenge. I've set the challenge. now.
Oh yeah, no, I'm earning my birthday piece of pie.
That's right.
Now nobody sneak in the kitchen and take it.
Don't save me. That's right. Okay, so that's coming up to the boil.
ASF has 2 shows that they're actually doing this year too. If you guys are interested, Cinderella.
Yes,
It's supposed to be really good. It's the Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella. They open, I think, November 26th. They run through January 2nd. They also have, did any of you see the One Woman Christmas Carol last year with Greta Lambert? Well, she's doing it in the Octagon this year, live, and that'll be December 3rd through 24th. So, I will be seeing that.
Oh, isn't it nice to have places to go and things to see? It's
They're
exciting.
they have very safe COVID protocols in place, so that should. My dad still, he won't go see a lot of shows right now. Robin knows my dad, and Martha Lynn knows my dad.
This doesn't have to.
We're cousins. Yeah, Robin and I are cousins, and Martha Lynn's my aunt.
Okay, so just a word to the wise. We don't need it to come together yet into pastry. We're just adding the pastry to the flour so that it's in light bread
Did I
crumbs.
do it wrong? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just cautioning
Okay.
you not to go any further. So we're going to add water to this.
Okay.
So now you're going to add your cheese.
So you're just trying to break up the butter.
Yes, because if you keep going, the warmth of your hands and the oil in the butter,
okay.
you'll end up with a dough, but that's not what you want. You've got to remember,
So you're just trying to
How do you
separate.
feel about doing that in the food process?
it's 2 minutes. It's very quick. Yes. Yes.
But
But I had to
minutes.
wash it up to do that, and this was much more fun. So then we've added our cheese. But not everyone's got a food processor, so sometimes it's nice to do a little of
We
each.
don't. Yeah.
And then we're going to add some water to that. I've just got cold water from the fridge. I think it tells you on there 6 to 8 tablespoons.
And she eyeballs it like a pro.
So you want it to start to come together without your hand really, because your hand is warm and it kind of plays tricks on it. Oh. See?
Yes.
That's how you do it.
I can smell it. It smells good.
Can you see that? And then in a little bowl, there's some extra flour over there to the right of the refrigerator.
Right here?
Yes. All right, so that's good.
Okay.
So we're just going to flour our board.
Okay.
And now you can squeeze it together because we've got our water in there.
All right.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
You can make that just on a, lazy Sunday morning and put it in the freezer so that you're just ready to go. And if you just fancy a pie.
Mm-hmm.
Pastry, you need to be slightly, when you're doing bread, you use the palm of your hand. When you're doing pastry, try and use your fingertips just to bring it round.
Okay. Because you're trying to knead the bread, but you're not trying to.
Well, you're
knead
trying to
this.
bring it together as opposed, you don't want to develop the gluten in your pastry because then what happens is you roll it out and then it all shrinks back again. So if you've ever made a pie, you get it all beautiful and you put it in the oven and then it all shrinks and bursts and the filling comes out. So what you want to do with that is sit it in the fridge for a couple of hours before you roll it. So the gluten will just relax. You'll have very chilled out pastry. And I always wrap mine in double paper. Here we go. think we've talked about that before. They used to tell us pastry sweats in the refrigerator. So you're better to wrap it in greaseproof paper and then wrap it in your saran wrap.
Okay. Otherwise known as surround wrap.
Saran wrap, that's right. That's okay. So I'm sorry, we're jumping around a little bit. So this is our,
I'm sorry.
yes,
Parchment.
parchment paper, not wax paper, yes. Because you have the same problem with that slidey bit.
Okay, we'll put this in the fridge now?
Yes, perfect. So as you saw over here, I was almost overflowing our juice. So there's our pear juice. This is corn, I call it corn flour, you call it cornstarch. So 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and a little water. And then if ever you have thickened anything before, the trick to thickening it is a spatula. Can you find me a spatula? There it is. Thank you. The real trick is that you introduce the warm liquid to the cold thickening agent before you tip it in. Otherwise, you can end up with a large gluggy bit. Nobody wants that.
Is this okay?
Yes, that's brilliant. Thank you.
How long do you refrigerate the dough? 30 to an hour?
Yes, a couple of hours.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so there it goes in, and then we'll put it back in. Are we doing good?
Yes.
All right, so this is going to thicken, and then we can put our pie together.
Yes.
So on the side, there's some pastry that's already done.
On the side here. Does it matter which one?
No, so we're just finishing this. Once we've got the corn flour in, you're going to bring it up to the boil, and as soon as it boils, it will thicken and it's ready to roll. I just have to stay with it for a second. Corn flour thickens and you get a kind of cloudy product at the end of it. But sometimes when you're garnishing something and you use arrowroot, and that gives you a clear, glossy, shiny sauce.
Oh.
But it's a little more temperamental. Okay, here it comes.
Well, this is not our last culinary workshops, even of this year. We're going to have one more in December. And it's a Christmas special, so that'll be fun. On December 9th. We don't know if it'll be in person or just online, but it should be fun. We're going to do more holiday stuff with some Christmas trivia.
Yes, this time last year we had Lucas. And we were making.
Yes, we made Christmas cookies this time last year with Lucas.
But this year I think we're going to bake. We've got a holiday pastry bake. It's going to be shaped like a candy cane. And we're going to arrange some appetizers and give you some ideas of presentation, like how you can do them in a wreath and kind of simpler, low-key ways that you can look good in the holidays when you're busy and you just want to, whip something out of a hat.
Right, yeah. I'm not as good at that.
A bûche de Noël, yes. Oh, I love a bûche de Noël. In fact, that reminds me, when I was in England this summer, I bought some candied chestnuts because they're hard to find, so that I can make a chestnut cream to go in our bûche
What's
de
a
Noël.
bûche de Noël?
A bûche de Noël is like a chocolate log, like a chocolate Yuletide log.
Okay, the
so
timer
this
is
is
done.
thickened. Oh, that's saucy.
that
That's
is
going over my
saucy.
pears.
Ooh.
Cheeky. So that's more pears. So you could get all of that done ahead of time. You could do that a couple of days ahead. You could make your pastry a couple of days ahead. We're all about doing it ahead.
Yes. And the timer for the oven has gone off.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
Sorry y'all don't have a camera angle on that. That's
Yes, and I'm sorry we're jumping around a little bit. I hope you just, it's how the season is, I think, jumping all over the place. Trying to jiggle many
it's a
balls and
wild
get things done.
time.
But look at that. That's our tart tatin. That's what
Wow.
you're hoping it will look like as it comes out the oven. And we might just let that sit for a second.
It smells
But
good.
ultimately, it's going to go on here. So I'm going to let it settle.
Okay.
And we are going to crack on with our tart.
All right.
So, just popping in here.
Oh, all right. See ya.
That's one does.
It's a portal to another dimension. Yay!
The tart dough. We had a very beautiful pie dish, but we filled it with pie, so we're going to just use this one.
Yay.
Do you want to roll?
Sure.
So I also, when I did mine, I divided it into into half, so that I would have my lid and my base. And we roll away from ourselves.
Like this.
Like that, that's right. I knew you were getting to it.
I was just seeing if you were paying attention. You were.
And then as you do your a quarter turn, you lift it, do your quarter turn, and then just redust the top. And then that gives you slightly more chance of ending up with a circle if you just roll, quarter turn, roll, quarter turn.
Okay.
Although, we're all human. As long as you...
Thank you. Yes, we are human. I'll try to.
and if you really don't mind about the cheese aspect, you could use just roll. If you just fancy to make a pie. Did we put a timer on for that? Or did
For what?
the pumpkin filling? Can
No.
you do 10?
Yes. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes and counting.
Thank you, Siri.
Okay. Look at that.
Yeah, it's kind of a circle.
It is.
Thank you, Amy.
It's beautiful. Do
How
one.
big are we going here?
Okay, so
That size?
yes,
Okay.
you want it like a few more inches than that. And I'll just pop over here and be ready to do this half.
Mm,
Sprinkle on top. I hijacked your
I
flour.
know.
See?
Yes. Okay. One more turn. Look at that.
Keep going, bit more. Now, if you need to lift it as it gets bigger, you flip it over the rolling pin. And that way, when you sort of peel it off, it doesn't come apart. So as it gets larger, you can just turn it that way.
Okay.
And keep going, but you need to go a little bit bigger.
Okay.
And because in turn, we'll have slightly thinner pastry.
Oh. Did you say I have to do that to turn it, or?
Yeah, well,
Or I can do
if
it
you
by
feel
hand.
like you need
Okay.
to, so as it gets bigger, it gets a bit more.
Yes. Get it off the
I can't
off
see
the
how messy
reservation
this
over
looks.
here.
Right.
Okay. All right. I'm just
I
gonna
think you're good.
turn.
You
this
can have a little
one.
practice. Look, see whether you can lie it in. See whether you think you're there.
Not quite.
Maybe with a jiggle. Yes, look at that. Round of applause for
thank
Adrian.
you.
Yeah, look at that. Okay, so now our beautiful pear filling
Yes.
is going to go inside.
Okay.
Don't prick the bottom or anything.
And I'm removing this.
Yes, and if you see any
And
cloves
cloves.
in there, just grab those. And while you're doing that, I'll just whip up the
And
top.
I'm just sticking this right in there, right?
Yes, you
Okay.
are.
I know these pears look. They
While
look
you're
good.
not looking, I'll just roll backwards. That's right. Mind you, it doesn't help that we're on a board that moves.
Right. Mmm.
I've heard that, is it egg whites or egg yolks that you can brush on the bottom of the crust to keep it get soggy?
Yes, I think you can do that. You can put
Is it
egg.
yolks or
I would think white.
the white?
The nice thing about this recipe is that you do thicken those juices up. And there's not so much, but there's enough to keep it moist, but not enough to, flood it.
Because Paul always says you don't want a
soggy bottom. That's a British baking reference, if none of you watch it.
Paul Hollywood.
Our bread guru. All right.
Okay. Am I getting rid of this bowl?
You are. There's some things in there I'm saving.
Okay. I'm trying to give you water in the beets.
You're brilliant. Okay, and so this is my egg wash that I'll be garnishing the top with, but we're just going to go on and brush around the edge because it will help our pastry stick together. Just like that. Then we're going to put our top on.
Oh,
And now
so pretty.
I put the top on so the flour side is down. The flour side that was on the board is uppermost because then you can get rid of that flour off the top of your pastry. If you do it the other way around, all that goes into the middle of your pie.
Okay.
And we're just stamping trend. How are we doing on time?
It's 2:02.
Okay, all right. Well, we are almost to the end. So we're just going to cut this off.
Okay.
So bear with us. We're about to turn everything out and you're about to see it. So we're going to trim off our pie.
She makes it look so easy.
Do you notice how I said pie?
Pie.
I'm practicing.
That's right.
All right, we're going to do 2 holes in the top. And then, Adrian, would you like to just re-roll
Yes.
those bits? And then
This
the
is my
fun
favorite
part, we get to decorate the pie.
Can I have
Is
the
the egg
roller?
wash just egg?
It is just egg. Probably you could do a pinch of salt, to break down the, whatever that's called, the protein that's in there. That salt makes it easier to do.
Come on.
Get together. Wherever that is, that probably would be a good idea to put some in there, actually. There it is. I've got just a whole egg. You can do an egg white. The whole egg makes it a goldeny,
I see it's flour.
There it is.
I have a question. Can you do this recipe with, I've got a bunch of apples right now. with
Yes,
apples.
wouldn't that be lovely? Apple and cheese pie.
Ooh, yes.
Calvados instead of the wort.
And what instead?
Calvados, the apple brandy.
Oh yes, wouldn't that be nice? Yes, that would be lovely. But I would use Calvados then.
A little less, yeah.
Yeah, that would be so good. Yes, use that instead of the port. That's an apple brandy Calvados. Delicious.
Okay.
And then we're going to garnish. You can, Adrian's going to use some of these little cutters just to pop out some shapes to go on the top
We got leaves and pumpkins and
and then re-garnish. And while Adrian's doing that, I'm going to have a go at flipping out and finishing off some things for you.
okay, you're leaving me to this.
I'm just
Okay.
leaving you to hold the fort. All right, here we go. So let's finish off our pumpkin that we did do earlier. So this is the pumpkin that we made in the big shell earlier. And it's cooled and cracked a little, but I'm not worried because it's going to have chocolate all over it. Gosh, how bad can that be? So this is the fun part. This is where all your hard labor pays off.
Uh-huh.
So look at that. Your family gatherings will appreciate that. So there's your
That
tart.
Ganache looks so much better on the screen than it does.
Oh, does it?
Can you put that on brownies or?
This? Yes, I'm not sure this is going to set as firm as you'd want it to on brownies. This is more of a kind of dessert consistency. And then I've just got some toasted pecans. We were just saying, we went to the Priestess Pecan place yesterday.
Yes.
So if you are in possession of some Priestess pecans. So there we go. That's going to be our beautiful tart. So there's that one. Yay! And that one's not entirely set. So the ones we're going to eat are going to be these ones. So these are some little ones that we had made too. I'm just going to do a little bit of powdered sugar on it. So you've got one that's not ready, one that will be ready. So we've got that.
And I've got leaves cut out here for
You've got these.
decoration.
Fantastic. Then we made you, this is the pie we're going to eat. And we will get tidier before it's done.
Will we?
But will we? Yes, we might. It's like a true representation. And yeah, we've had several goes at pies. So there's the pies. This was in our deep dish with lots of decoration on it. This one is the one you could smell as you came in. And then we're going to let Adrian take this home and bake it tonight with mummy. So that's happy birthday, Mom! I should have got letters. We could put happy birthday, Adrian.
I'll try to spell with these leaves.
Now, if you could all just like breathe in, we'll try and flip this and see what happens.
Yes, hold her breath. Am I putting these leaves on here?
Yes, do it. Do it.
That's so scary.
Okay, well, you're amazing. Just don't cover up the vent holes.
Okay.
And
I'm just
if you overlap, you need to stick.
Okay. If I
Well-
overlap, like, am I overlapping right now? No. You're
No.
saying I need to put.
If you make like we did here, like if you
Okay.
make a wreath and they're on top of each other.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So there's our tart. And we need to be ready for action as we flip it.
Okay. Okay. I feel like we're going into battle. We're gonna
Feels
flip
a bit
it.
like we're
It's gonna
going
be
to
so.
apples.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
All right. Twist off. Sadly, you get to see all the behind the scenes when we're live, but when we're, on
Isn't
camera,
that
you
more
don't-
fun though?
You get to see the chaos. All right, so am I still there? Can you still see that?
Do you honestly think we don't know that chaos?
I don't want to create the illusion. It does a little crunch. All right, ready?
Okay.
Say a few Hail Marys.
Hail Mary, Mother of Grace. Mother full of grace. Yes.
What's with it? Ta-da.
Beetroot tart. Ta ta. Yay! Oh, it's pretty, Kate. Yay! Okay.
Oh, it smells amazing, and you're all going to get to taste it. So, just poke it back to life.
Okay, timer done.
Timer done. Okay. Bit of grated orange on the top.
I'm just having a ball over here with these.
You are. Look at
It
fancy.
doesn't look.
fancy.
It's not. Doesn't
It
look like
is
the one you did.
All your own work. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Now, do I need to egg wash these?
Yes, you do. All right, so I'm just going to stick that at the side. Ooh.
Woo!
And there it comes to greet you. Oh, it does smell very good. Okay.
It smells real good.
So we'll have a 2-minute tidy, and then if you'd all like to come and have some samples.
Yes, we're just gonna sing us out.
Oh, yes. Look at you, look
Here
at
you
see,
go.
look at her handiwork.
I will. Are we done? Are we good? Do you want to sing?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
All right.
Do you know
Everybody?
what I'm gonna sing?
Yeah. It's a good time to be merry. It's a good time for culinary. It's a good time, and don't you know? We hope you enjoyed the show.
All right.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you for coming. Yeah, y'all get
Come on
situated
up.
and then come up and have some samples.
Right.
Close the gap here.
And then you can just
Mine's
put
the
that.
gap.
You can let them see it, I guess. And
Yeah.
then you could, we'll just put it in the fridge, and you'll just take it home and bake it.
Okay, yay. I'm excited. Hey, Mary Bruce. The Malden, yeah. We put on everything.
It's my favorite salt.
You can,
Oh, you can, but you can. And they do a smoked one, which is really good too. All right.